American investigators have now released images of a person of interest in the manhunt for Charlie Kirk's killer. Our Washington correspondent Simon Marks is here to give us the very latest in the pursuit of the gunman. Simon.
Andrew, there's a lot going on. Within the last half an hour, the FBI has offered members of the public a $100,000 reward for information leading to the capture of this suspect. And that is a move that may suggest that their efforts to identify the suspect through facial recognition software have not been successful. Certainly earlier in the day, officials in Utah were suggesting that they were not going to release the images to the public. They wanted to keep them a closely guarded secret unless and until they decided they needed to. A couple of hours later, the images were put out by the FBI's field office in Salt Lake City. 2 images of a man described by the FBI as being of college age. He's wearing a dark baseball hat, sunglasses, and a black shirt that appears to be emblazoned with some kind of imagery of the stars and stripes. It's very hard to know exactly what the image is, though, because the images themselves are both pretty blurred. In one photograph, he's walking up a flight of stairs. That is consistent with the FBI saying that they believed that he had been captured on CCTV, walking up a flight of stairs and going to the roof of a building overlooking the campus of Utah Valley University, from where he allegedly launched this attack that killed Charlie Kirk. In the other image, he appears to be walking down some kind of a corridor along a wall. Police desperate to find him and bring him in for questioning in connection with the assassination of the 31-year-old acolyte of Donald Trump's Make America Great Again movement. An absolute rock star Charlie Kirk was within the conservative bedrock movement that fueled Donald Trump's election success, and President Trump today announcing that he's posthumously awarding Charlie Kirk the Presidential Medal of Freedom.
And Simon, you know, he had no elected office ever. He was outside the administration, and yet you hear the president's words. He's clearly very upset by this, and I'm watching an image of the White House behind you with the flag at half-mast, which I think has been happening all over the country.
Yes, that's absolutely right. I think it is hard to overstate the shock, grief, and in some quarters deep anger that the assassination of Charlie Kirk has caused within that White House and within Donald Trump's inner circle. I mean, most commentators accept the argument that he was one of the top 5 leading figures in Donald Trump's Make America Great Again movement, a conduit for the president, not just of his own views, they spoke regularly, but also the views of the hundreds of thousands of young Americans that he had recruited to the cause. Now, President Trump, speaking last night from the Oval Office, characterized his response to this in polarized terms. He said that radical left figures had contributed to Charlie Kirk's assassination by their criticism of conservative voices in the United States. And indeed, Donald Trump earlier in the week went to a restaurant in Washington and had to run the gauntlet of protesters who were calling him America's answer to Hitler. However, what Donald Trump failed to note last night is that back in June, 2 very prominent Democrats, lawmakers in Minnesota, were killed by a lone gunman along with their spouses, and that responsibility for political violence does not only cut one way in the United States, which is why there is such an intensity of focus on the search for this suspect as people seek to understand if it was him, his motive. Reports that the FBI discovered bullets alongside the gun that they recovered linked to the attack were engraved with slogans that they claim are representative of transgender and anti-fascist ideology. What that precisely means, we do not yet know.
Well, I think your point there, Simon, about all sides have answers to serious questions is absolutely right. Thank you very much indeed for that.